Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you are always in good condition. In this video, me and my friends will explain the material about writing basic, what makes a good sentence. Before getting into the material, let me introduce members of the group 4. The group 4 consists of Bagas Yuliatmati, Thufailah Mujahidah, Alviana Damayanti, Rara Anggita, and Mutia. Happy watching! Definition of proofreading. Proofreading is the process of carefully reviewing a text for errors, especially surface errors such as spelling, grammar, punctuation, formatting, and typing errors. Actually, proofreading and editing are different. Editing is typically completed throughout the writing process, especially between draft, and often suggests contextual changes that affect the overall meaning and presentation. The focus in changes that affect style, point of view, organization on content, audience, etc. Meanwhile, proofreading occurs later in the writing process, usually just after the final editing and before the final draft that will be presented for publication or thrown into a professor. The focus is on correcting errors in spelling, syntax, grammar, punctuation, and formatting. Okay, next slide. Proofreading example. The first example, in the sentence underline there should be there because the second form shows possession. Next example, champion should be championship. The third example, in the sentence underline roll should be roll because the first roll refers to the verb role or the roles you eat. Someone's role is the party they play in something. And next example, in the sentence underline, they should be the because this is a common typo, the type that suggests sloppiness on the part of the writer. And the last example, in the sentence underline, are should be our, although some people pronounce them alike, are is a verb, while our shows the position of group.
Common error and correction strategies. First is spelling. Don't forget to use your word processor spell check feature to identify spelling mistake. Do a quick visual check for squiggly lines. Run the actual spell check function and then do a closer check for misspelling or wrong word choices that the spell checker missed. Second is fragments. By definition, a fragment is a group of words that is punctuated like a sentence, but that lacks either a subject or a verb. Third is subject-verb agreement. Example, original, the dog needs to go on a walk. Revised, the dog needs to go on a walk. The subject in the original sentence, dog, is singular. The verb need is plural. The verb needs to be changed from plural to singular form in order to agree with the subject. And less more. If it feels like you keep repeating the same words throughout your writing, pull out a thesaurus for ideas on different, more creative choices. 7 common errors. First, sentence fragments. Make sure each word group you have punctuated as a sentence contains a grammatically complete and independent though that can stand alone as an acceptable sentence. Second, sentence sprawl. Too many equally weighted phrases and clauses produce tiresome sentence. Third, unclear pronoun reference. All pronouns must clearly refer to definite reference nouns. Use it they, this, that, this, does, and which carefully to prevent confusion. Fourth is incorrect pronoun case. Determine whether the pronoun is being used as a subject or an object or a possessive in the sentence, and select the pronoun form to match. Fifth is superfluous commas. Unnecessary commas make sentence difficult to read. Commas please do no link to independent clauses with a comma unless you also use a coordinating conjunction and, or, but, for, no, so, yet, instead use a period or semicolon or rewrite the sentence. 6 is apostrophe errors. Apostrophes indicated possession for nouns, but not for personal pronouns. Apostrophes also indicate omissions in contraction. In general, they are not used to indicate plural.
Hello, next slide. I will briefly explain about sentence structure. Before that, my name is Bagas Yuliatmati. It uses a specific combination of independent clauses and dependent clauses to help make sure that our sentences are strong and informational. In English, sentence structure is divided for parts. Part 1 is simple sentence, part 2 is compound sentence, part 3 is complex sentence, and then part 4, compound complex sentence. Number 1. Simple sentence. A simple sentence has only one subject and one predicate. In fact, in independent clauses itself is a simple sentence. Here are some examples. Sasa play a doll. Sasa is subject and play a doll is predicate. And example 2 is I like you. I like is subject and you is predicate. The next slide, number 2, compound sentence. A compound sentence has at least two independent clauses. It uses a conjunction like and to connect the ideas. Here are some examples. The cat eat pizza and the fish eat rice. There are the word and is the conjunction. Number 3, complex sentence. A complex sentence has one independent clauses and one or more dependent clauses. It sometimes uses conjunction and other words to combine all of the clauses together. Here are some examples. When he was on the airplane, the man bought cookies, but not brownies. The next slide, number 4, compound complex sentence. A compound complex sentence has two or more independent clauses and at least one dependent clauses. So, it uses conjunction to combine two complex sentence and at least one incomplete sentence. Here are some examples. The girl smelled cookies which are baking at home, so she ran all the way there.
Component of a sentence. Larry write 10 complete sentences require key information, subject, verb, and completed idea. Subject. The subject usually appears at the beginning of a sentence as a noun or a pronoun. A noun is a word that identifies a person, place, and thing or idea. A pronoun is a word that replaces a noun. Common pronouns are you, we, they, she, he, it. For example, Malik is the project manager for this project. He will give us our assignment. In this sentence, the subject is a person, Malik. The pronoun that replaces and refers back to Malik. Compound subject. A sentence might have more than one person, place, or thing as the subject. Prepositional phrases. Prepositional phrases connect a noun, pronoun, or verb to another word that describes or modifies that noun, pronoun, or verb. Verb. A verb is often an action word that shows what the subject is doing. A verb can also link the subject to a describing word. The next, action verb, being verb, and the last, helping verb.
A good writer always works to improve the writing skill that it can result to the better sentence writing. Besides that, a good sentence can express the complete thought and also can communicate the idea clearly. However, there are other components that can contribute to the
good sentence construction. First, a good sentence is a complete sentence. A complete sentence requires subject and also a verb, and it can express the complete thought. It is also known as independent clause. The second, a good sentence conjures a particular mood. Especially when you want to appeal your reader's sensibility, proper use of emotion in your sentence can make all the difference. And the third, a good sentence has the flow. The cadence of good sentence should be unmarked by poor punctuation or wordiness. In writing, it must be able to produce a result that can make your reader amazed. There are many tips for you to make a better sentences. First, keep it simple, because sometimes a simple sentence can make a powerful punch. Second, employ parallelism. Sentences are easy to read if there is an agreement in the grammatical structure, particularly when it comes to list. It is known as parallelism. And the third, mind your grammar. Good sentences don't suffer from things like passive voice, typos, etc. Next, use concrete rhetoric. You can use direct language when you want to make a strong image, convey significance, etc. Next, properly punctuate. You have to ensure about periods, commas, and other punctuative tools that are implemented correctly. And the last but not the least is practice writing, because improvement comes when you are practice, because practice makes perfect. And to conclude, a great sentence verbalizes ideas clearly and efficiently, establishing effective communication through writing. In writing, it must be able to produce a result that can make your reader amazed. If you know how to write a sentence, then you're on your way to make a great sentence. Thank you.